Hi, so we're going to be using InDesign so that we can start our reference guide. So the reference guide is a multiple page document and you can use the number 10 tutorial, the PDF tutorial, and you can follow along with that. What we are going to do is we are going to use InDesign. InDesign is a software for multiple page documents. It can do single page, but it's meant to do multiple page as well as a lot of text. So if you are creating a document like an annual report, a marketing report, any kind of report that requires a lot of text, or in this case, the reference guide, it's InDesign that you want to use. So with InDesign open, we're going to go to File New and create a new document, remembering to take a look at the quick key combinations. Control N, or on a Mac, Command N, is the universal quick key for new document. So our destination, we always have to remember where we are going with this. So you can create documents for web. You can even create interactive web documents that can give you some insight as to how your website would work. So there's great stuff here as well as mobile information if you're creating any kind of pages or infrastructure for cell phones and or tablets. So let's take a look at our print. Our destination will be print for this particular guide. And we only need a letter size page, which is 8.5 by 11. Our default on the school computers is picas, so we're going to change that to inches, as most printers will give you this particular unit of measurement for all sorts of documents, whether it be a newspaper ad, a newsletter, even posters. So what we are going to do is, as this is the beginning of the reference guide, I'm going to go ahead and name it. Take a look at my page size. How many pages am I going to start with? I'm going to start with 20 because I can always add more. Facing pages I'm going to leave on, and you'll see why in a minute. I'll show you in the page palette what that looks like. Our primary text frame will start on page 1, so it already contains a text frame. At this point, if I wanted to have a 2-column document, so I wanted to separate the pages into 2 columns, I could do that here and also add in the gutter size, so that's the width, the space between the columns. And I can also set up my margins. My margins are those pink lines that keep our information safely inside what we call the safe or live area. And that just ensures that we have a nice white frame around our information that keeps our information contained inside there so it's not in danger of being cut off. And we are going to click Create. And what we will end up with is what looks like a single page on our desktop. But if we take a look in our palettes over here, we can click on the Pages palette. And the Pages palette is going to view, we are going to be able to display all of our pages. So we start with a right-hand page, end up with these double page spreads, and end with a single page at the end. So facing pages gives us this one page for our cover, gives us all these double page facing pages, and ends with our final back page cover. And that's how facing pages works. And first thing we're going to do here is page 1 is going to be our cover in our Pages palette. So what we can do is click on the text tool in the tool palette here, and I'm just going to click and drag a box in which to type in reference guide. And this is just going to be placement text. And the reason why I'm doing this, and so select all, or click and drag to select it, and Control Shift, or on a Mac, Command Shift, greater than, will increase the size of the text. And you'll notice at the top of the screen, again, as in with our business card, we have all these options for text, text style. So here's our font. Here's our different fonts available to us in that style, or a style available to us in that font, sorry. And we can change the size of the text here, and the leading, which is the space between the lines. And I'm going to make this a bit smaller using just these keys here. If we move across the top of the screen, we have all these fantastic options for text. And you notice here that we have so many more options. I'm going to center it using these tabs over to the right here. So why do we have so many options in text in InDesign? Well, it's meant for text. So this gives us a lot of text options for setting up our text, whether it be font style, size, letting in between the fonts, or in between the lines, so space between the lines. We have all these text styles here. Again, Control A, or on a Mac Command A, you can select all your text within that box, and you can choose different ways of applying styles to that text. And you'll notice that when they're highlighted, it means they're turned on. When they're not highlighted, they are turned off. There's all sorts of metrics here, so we can actually control how much space is between the letters as well. So this is tracking. We can control the height of the letters and the width of the letters. So if we need to skinny it up here. So I'm going to leave it there for now. There's all sorts of other things. We can fake italicize our font if a italic font is not available here. So there's so many things that you can apply here in InDesign that aren't available in Illustrator or Photoshop. And here I'm going to just apply some color, so you can find all those options across the top of your screen, as well as the alignment of your text here. With the black arrow, the selection tool, I'm going to click on the bottom anchor point of that text box, and I'm just going to scoot that up here. What I want to do is I want to stay clean. I want to stay clean, neat, and tidy, like making your bed in the morning. You want to keep all your text boxes and all your frames nice, clean, and tidy, so that when you click on one, this is the box you're selecting. If you had another box here, another frame, and I'm going to just fill that with color. And if this box is sitting here and this box is sitting over top, and this particular box is sitting in the front, then when I go to click on this pink box, I don't get it. I get the box that's sitting on top. If I want to click through, I have to hold the Control key on a PC or Command key on a Mac in order to click through those layers. But if you're being neat and tidy, you can click and drag on an anchor point, clean up that box, because we don't need that huge box. There's no more text in there. So we keep our images, our frames, all our bounding boxes neat and tidy and tucked in. So it makes it easier to work in InDesign. Now that we have our cover done, I'm going to just select this item with my black arrow, my selection tool, and hit the delete key or backspace button on a PC. And we're going to take a look at our master pages in the next segment. So far we have created a 20-page document, all in the new page setup. And we have added some placement text. Placement text means we're just going to replace that later, but we know that this is our cover for our 20-page document. Again, next we'll explore how to work with pages and master page template items in the next segment.